Hi everyone and welcome to the introduction for my super heavy scrap tank library. So this is basically an addition to the current library we have with a smaller scrap tanks, but just now with bigger, more weapons and everything. Inspired a bit from these tanks, or like this T100. But since 2 turrets is not enough, I also added like these side weapons from stuff like the Mark V tank. And yeah, if you just now select something random, you could create easily already some tanks, but as you can see here for the turret, it does not work like that. So we have a multi-stage library here, and it's a bit more complicated than that. We could, if you say you don't want to put too much effort into it, just select here our chassis and just take one of these finished chassis, like the number 2. Then we just need a torso, and the torso is basically the turret up here. And you'll see already, okay, for the torso we have so many different options that do not necessarily fit. And that's a problem here with our multi-stage library. So you need to know what exactly you want to do. So for the main turret up here, I would take either a super heavy cannon holder or this big turrets. We have the small and the big ones, but I think the big ones look much better. Let's probably take the number 4 here. And for the main cannon here, I would actually suggest to take some of the weapons from the other library. So we have some small weapons here, but if I now take this, you see it's a very strange, super big turret with a very, very small weapon. So let's quickly also enable the other scrap tank library. So let's just go here to manage libraries and switch on the scrap tanks here. And then we have much more options here for our main turret. And I think this artillery will not work. Let's take this main gun, big gun. Let's try it. Okay, it looks already much better. Possibly we could just make it a bit larger like this. And so we have our super heavy tank here. Yeah, but let's go back to the beginning. How do we start? So the first thing we need to do is assemble this whole tank chassis. So let's start with our main body here, and we have 2 variants with the tower left and right. Let's just take the number 1 here. And you see that's not enough yet. We need to add the legs here. So we have a left and a right leg, and there we can just select our tracks. So let's select track 1 here, and maybe track 2B here, and let's just plot it. Yeah, and then we have our tracks. Next thing we want to do is we want to have a turret up here. And for the turret up here, we already need a finished turret saved as a head. So if we go here to the head selection, of course you have all these weapons, but you see I already created some small turrets you can already use here. Or something like this, with a flamer, with a rocket launcher. We have the small ones and we have the normal ones here, and I would use a normal one, so let's probably take this with the flamer, and let's just look at that. Okay, maybe that's... okay, scale factor was still there, so now it fits. Let's just save this already here as legs super heavy tank. And let's go one step back to doing these turrets. So we need a torso here. And there I would just select like a normal turret, like the turret 4, for example, and a normal weapon here. And there we could take something like the main gun cannon, for example. And this one we now have to save as a head file. So let's call it head underscore our new turret. And then let's go back to our super heavy tank, refresh the libraries once, and here in our turret selection we have our new turret. Of course you can do here the render library thumbnails, then you have the image, but we know what we created here. So let's plot it, and we have our turret we just created here included. We can then turn it a bit like this. So next thing we want to do is add these side weapons here. So let's go to single arms, and here we can now select our side weapons. For example, this rocket launcher here, like that. How to create that? Yeah, well, again, we need to create our own side holders. So let's again do a new thing, and for our torso we can now select the side weapon base, but actually we should even go one step further back. So let's start with the side weapon holder as a torso, and for the head we can now basically select any of the side weapons. So we have the small ones here that will look quite good, but we can also do bigger stuff like this. And now let's save this as our side weapon, and these side weapons, as you can see here, have to be saved as a left arm. And let's just call it our new side weapon, and I would suggest to put the double W here, otherwise it will allow you to select the weapon. So did I save that? Yeah, we saved it. So we have our side weapon here, and now we can go back and create our whole side weapon base here. And first we need to again refresh. So our new small turret is added here. Not here, here in the left arm. There we have it, our new side weapon. Okay, then this was wrong, then we need to put it in the right arm. Yeah, so here we need to select it. We can then again turn it a bit like this or this. And we can add another weapon up here. And you remember we just created our new turret. And we can just take that, but that's possibly a bit too large. So we could now again go back, select the torso, like a small torso here, select the weapon and save it as a head part. But we can also take some of the small turrets I already created for you. So for example, this one, let's put it like that, and also move it a bit over there, like that. Looks fine, right? And now let's save this as arm left side weapon. And I did a mistake, so the small side weapons need to be saved as a right arm, and this whole finished side weapons as the left arm. So the thing we just did here, our arm L, our new side weapon should have been arm right, but it's not that bad. Since it will just be mirrored, then it still work. But now let's call it like a new super side weapon, and we can now finally go back to our super heavy tank and again refresh the libraries once, and we can now select our new super side weapon here, and we have it included here. And we can do that also for the other side, so we can select the same one or just any other one here. I really like these steel bars with a rocket on top, so let's do that. And we can of course change the position here, so we can move it to the front, we can move it again back, we can move it a bit down, that's not down, we can move it a bit down here, just as you like. And we can add 4 more two more turrets. We have the sub arms here, so we can also select stuff here. Just like take this, and you see we have another turret here. And now it's more relevant to like move this one a bit down and move this one a bit up, like this. That looks much better. So once we're done with this chassis, we have to save it as a lags file, as we already did here, lags super heavy tank, but now it's complete. Let's save it. And now we can, after doing a refresh, select it here for our legs, the super heavy tank, and now we can do the main turret. So for our torso, as I said, I really like the super heavy cannon holder, and then use one of those super heavy cannons I created, like this one. And there we have it. We can now, of course, also move this around. So we can rotate the legs here a bit, like that. We can have the cannon tilted to the top a bit more, like that. And yeah, that's it. That's how we create a super heavy tank in our multi-stage library. So again, the first thing to do is create turrets like here, for here, and create these side weapons. And once you're done with that, combine these side weapons with the holders. And then once you have done that, combine the main chassis with the tracks, with the side weapons and the small turret here. And then save everything as lags, and you can add the last big cannon. And yeah, that's it. That's how you use the multi-stage library. And of course, this is expandable to other tanks. We could also think about doing more and more of these tanks, bigger tanks, like longer tanks, or bigger artillery weapons with two big cannons. And yeah, everything is possible there. So thanks for watching this video, and talk to you next time. Goodbye.